guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anani. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm very happy to have you. Please consider subscribing below to join our community. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in once more. I am very happy to see you again. In today's video, as you guys have read the title, we are going to be discussing some things to keep in mind when buying property on a Caribbean island. In particular, I'm going to base my information on me buying a home in Jamaica. So for those of you that are not aware, I have recently closed on a home. I plan on moving to Jamaica at the top of 2025, so do be on the lookout for that content. If you guys are interested in exactly how I did that, my instructional guidebook is now available, so you can click the link in the description to purchase that if you are interested. But without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing that I would look out for when purchasing a home on a Caribbean island is to make sure the home is not in a flood zone. So how do you do this? Of course, you can ask your real estate agent to inquire with the seller's real estate agent to make sure. However, there's also another way to find this out. So once you're putting in your offers and things like that, you will have to do a valuation and a survey. In said valuation, there should be information on whether or not this area is flood prone, whether the house is flood prone, and things of that nature. So I would definitely take that into account, and I would definitely keep that in mind. If you have fallen in love with this house and you're like, hey, you know, I don't really care if it's in a flood zone, do keep in mind that maybe you're going to want to put in like maybe a retainer wall or something like that in the future. Of course, that can incur a cost, but it is something to think about to protect your home when flood level or water levels rise from floods or heavy rains. Also, going along with this, I would also try to see if you can find a home that is maybe more inland. I wouldn't necessarily recommend finding a home that is right exactly on the beach on the coast. I do feel like that could be a bit of a preventative measure to protect against hurricanes. Of course, we know hurricanes come in all different kinds of shapes and sizes. Some hurricanes can be big enough to cover an entire island, but I do feel like moving more inland does protect you from the risk of hurricane damage. The next thing I would keep in mind when buying a home on a Caribbean island is keep in mind the topography of the area in which you are buying a home. So for instance, in Jamaica, there is a lot of different kinds of topography. The area that I'm in Clarendon Parish, and that area is a little less hilly. However, one time I visited St. Anne Parish, and it was hills on top of hills, and the driving was interesting and all kinds of stuff. It was gorgeous, but I knew that that couldn't be a place for me, just because driving kind of all on those mountains and stuff like that isn't really something that I was up for. So do keep in mind the topography, really research. You might like an area, but the things that come with the area, maybe that's not for you right at that moment. And like I mentioned before in my video on how to buy a house in Jamaica, do go and actually view these places or have your real estate agent view these listings to even see, like I say, if the drive is something that's okay with you, if the roads are something that is okay with you, because in Jamaica, it is a beautiful country, but a lot of the roads are very interesting. They are car busters with the potholes and everything. So do keep these things in mind when searching for a home. Another thing you're going to want to look for when you are searching for a home on a Caribbean island. So if you're coming from maybe like the States like America, or I'm thinking it's maybe something similar in like Britain or, you know, things of that nature, we are used to having like hot and cold water sort of a thing. But in Caribbean islands, and especially like I'm speaking on Jamaica, that is not always the case. So a lot of times you're going to go to a house and you're just going to kind of assume that they have it kind of set up for hot water and things like that, but no. What you're going to look for, and I'm going to see if I can put it on the screen, the spigot is going to look different if the house is wired for two types of water, the hot water and the cold water, or it's set up to be able to facilitate hot water and cold water. So do be on the lookout for that, because that might be a deal breaker for you. Or you might say, okay, now that I know this, I know I have to, you know, pay for the water system to be able to be routed for hot and cold water and things of that nature. So do keep that in mind also too when you are looking for a home, because in a Caribbean island, hot water, like the facilitation of it is not always available. Also too, in the same vein, be on the lookout. Again, this is more so for my people that are wanting to move to a Caribbean island from maybe like America or things of that nature, we are used to every one of our houses just being installed with an AC unit. In the Caribbean, that is not always the case. It does have a lot to do with the fact that there is always a constant breeze and things of that nature. However, it can get a bit warm, you know, just the fact that it's an island in general. So do be on the lookout for that. Ask your real estate agent, okay, does this house have AC and things of that nature? If not, you're probably going to have to incur a cost to put it in. Or if it doesn't bother you, then you know, okay, it's fine. I'll just, you know, have cross ventilation or, you know, ceiling fans and things of that nature. But don't assume that the house comes with AC, because that is not always the case. Another thing to keep in mind when searching for a home, it is okay to ask the real estate agent if the house has any kind of infestations or things of that nature. Now, of course, we all know when a house has been idle for a while that yes, you know, you are probably going to have to do some extermination and things of that nature. However, sometimes people don't tell you that, oh, this house comes with this problem, or we have had a problem with this and things of that nature. So yes, do inquire. See, like, is there a specific bug problem here? Is there a rodent problem here? Is there termites, or, you know, so on and so forth. It's okay to inquire to make sure that you know fully what you are purchasing. Now, of course, that's not an issue with you if you inquire and they say, oh yeah, it's this issue, but you know, okay, well, I'll have to factor in the cost of exterminations and things like that, then that's perfectly fine. But you do want to have kind of an informed decision before making a full purchase. Also too, I've said this point in one of my previous videos, but inquire. It's okay to inquire with the local police to see if the area that you are moving to is safe. Like I said, Jamaica is a beautiful island, gorgeous island. People are very friendly, but just like everywhere, there are probably places that you don't want to go to, and places that you do want to go to. So do inquire the area. Especially like when you are seeing houses and you know you see the price looks amazing, you're like, wow, this is a great house for a great price. A lot of times that is for a certain reason, and more often than not it is because the neighborhood is probably not quote unquote desirable. So do your due diligence, inquire with the local police, inquire with the real estate agent, inquire with even neighbors if you see them, and ask them, you know, how is the general safety and the feel of this area. Doing these things will definitely help you guys on your journey to buying your dream home. I highly recommend you guys try these tips and tricks. If you guys are interested in how I bought a house in Jamaica, again, the book is down below, the instructional guidebook. It takes you step by step and even gives my personal contacts and a lot of other good things as well in the book. Also too, you guys can watch the video on how I bought my house in Jamaica, and if you're curious as to why in the world I bought a house in Jamaica in the first place, I have that video available too. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.